Hello. I hope you can hear me. I'm holding the microphone very close. And yeah, it should be working. You cannot see, but I'm joined here by my mentor and friend, Norman Bolter. And what I'm about to say is a tribute to him. Because of all trombone players, he has given me the most. So, Norman, cheers. I finished my bachelor degree in classical trombone playing in the year of 2010, and I studied in the Conservatorium van Amsterdam, and I had some teachers there, which I do not need to name. They know who they are. Let's say I did not have happy 4 years there. It seemed to be that almost everything about me was not correct, and it was not appreciated. I played the wrong kind of trombone. I played the con, and I still do. I was playing the wrong mouthpiece. At the time, I was playing a Christian Lindberg mouthpiece. Sometimes 5 CL, sometimes 4 CL, sometimes 2 CL. But that was the mouthpiece that I wanted to play. No, that was not good. I had a lot of interest in music theory. It was just a waste of time. I really wanted to investigate music. No, that was just... No. Just breathe and play. And I was really in a difficult situation because everything about me was being rejected. Everything. And if it had not been for the theory teachers, for example, Andre Dau, Menno Dekker, Clemens Kemme, and some others, then I'm pretty sure I would not have stayed in Amsterdam for 4 years. But I was, let's say, surrounded by trombone teachers that did not like me. But I was also attending lessons with theory teachers that just loved me, because they saw something in me, something that was worth it, something to be treasured. And because I am so sensitive, then this environment of negativity had crippling effects on me. I played worse and worse and worse. I could not play freely at all. My intonation was rubbish. My articulation was a piece of shit. Everything was just awful. And I got thrown out of lessons because I was too stressed. So that was the cure. Just throw me out of the lesson because I was too stressed. I should not play so stressed. I should relax. So as a consequence, I got a major depression, and I started to do things to keep me alive. Some not so wise things and some pretty wise things. I organized music festivals, Focus on Icelandic Music, where I conducted. I brought together a lot of Icelandic music students that were learning music throughout Europe, and they came to Amsterdam to play Icelandic music. That was a waste of time. I should have been, studying the trombone. And they were really worried, my teachers, that I was not focusing solely on the trombone. And especially because I was pretty blunt that I did not really see myself playing in an orchestra. And then I was a lost cause. It actually resulted in a focal dystonia. All of this negativity and all of this pressure to be something that I was not. I have never been a drone. No. I simply am, and I am connected to the vibrational dimension. No, but that was, no. Should stay on both feet on the ground, and I should prepare for audition. I should not think too much about the music. I should think about the slide. I should think about the breathing. I should think about a lot of things. Everything except music. And I was surrounded by teachers that thought they knew anything about music, but they did not. I'm so sorry. They have some, big positions in, big orchestras. They could not, they would not be able to recognize a musical sound if it would bite them in the ass. Sound. Sound. Yeah, a lot of sound, no music. So if you're a musical being in an environment that actually looks down on music, you suffer, and I did. So after the torture in Amsterdam, I actually needed a sabbatical in Iceland, just with my parents, at home in Iceland. And then I started to play a bit more. Just then you could feel, because I wanted to play the trombone, but I was not free. And I met a trombone teacher, Spanish trombone teacher, Javi Colomer, that was visiting Iceland, and I had a couple of lessons with him, and I was like, I feel kind of safe with him, so I actually moved to Spain, to a small village called Cocentaina. because, I wanted to become free. I wanted to play. I was robbed of that in Amsterdam. Completely. It was a crime. Yeah. And they know, they just don't care. They are blind to, music. They get paid to play notes. So I moved to Spain. And I was just kind of, going through a trauma. I was still processing all the abuse. I was really a victim of abuse. There's no, it's no secret. I told them. I told them in my final exam that their behavior was not right. And of course they got furious at me that I was just simply holding up a mirror, showing them what they had done. So of course they, have not spoken to me since then. When I told them the truth. So, I was in Spain, eating healthy food, taking long walks, and processing the trauma. And then I was just looking on YouTube, because I was always on the lookout for learnings from somebody to learn from. If somebody had teachings, I wanted them. I always wanted to learn. But let's say I don't tolerate bullshit. So if you give me bullshit, I vomit, which I did. So I was just on YouTube, and then I stumbled upon a video by Norman Bolter. I actually kind of knew who he was already, because the former principal trombonist in the Icelandic Symphony Orchestra studied with him in his early days in the New England Conservatory, if I remember correctly. And while I was in Amsterdam, I got to know a woman named Senas Kim that had been studying with him before she moved to Rotterdam to study the masters with Jürgen and Pierre and those guys. And she had, she had kind of recommended him to me and shared some recordings of him, and so I knew kind of who he was. But of course I did not have an idea who he was. I still remember when I clicked on the link and I saw his face staring into the camera. No trombone to be seen. He was just looking at me. And he was sharing with me his understanding of music and his passion for music. Music as a living thing. And he approached it as such, as a living thing, where nothing is wrong as long as it is alive. I was hooked. Could it be? Could it be a trombone player was sensitive to these things? I was not only thinking about breathing and slide technique and articulation. Could it be? For a week, I did not much of anything except watching his videos. Frequency Bone Summer Music Connections. Frequency Bone Summer Music Connections. So he was actually, in the off season, he was having a kind of a trombone masterclass on YouTube with these 20-minute long videos. Sometimes 10 minutes. Sometimes he would just speak. He would tell stories of music, of his life in the orchestra, of his experience as a teacher. There is always something to do. He said that a lot. What I felt for him was honesty. Something I had not actually felt for a long time, especially from a brass player. Honesty? Where he would pick up the trombone and play some bullshit and it sounded like truth. Because it was. He was projecting truth. Not opinions, not likes or dislikes. It was the truth. And even more, he gave me the gift of allowance. Who is Ari? He asked me through his videos. Who is Ari? Is Ari defined by his failure as a trombonist? Is Ari defined by his depression? Is Ari defined by the fact that he simply does not fit in anywhere? Or is Ari something else? What is Ari? Who is Ari? I want to know you. I still remember when something clicked within me. And I picked up the trombone and I could play a free tone for the first time in years. It needed someone to allow me to be who I was, because I was not strong enough to face this bullshit on my own. I was not strong enough. I was too sensitive. I took in too much pain, and I was like overridden by these egos. I'm an important brass player. Yeah, good job. You don't know shit. But you claim to know shit. But you really don't, and that is a crime. So, I don't pretend to know anything. I just talk. If I have something clever to say, it's an accident. And if I say something offending, it's on accident as well. I just talk like Norman did. He just pressed record and he talked. He had a vague idea what he was going for, but it was just flow. And he was honoring both the intellectuality and the emotions. It was not of this keep it simple, stupid nonsense that you hear so many brass players. Like, keep it simple, stupid. Paralysis by analysis. Yeah, that is true. Of course it's true. But you should still think about what is happening around you. What are you perceiving? No. Of course, I'm not a regular human being. I'm way too sensitive. So of course I did not fit in with these teachers that claimed to know everything. I didn't know anything. And that kind of made fun of my musicality. When I was looking for the phrasing, when I was looking for the core of it, I was like, you play like shit, what are you? Yeah. You also play like shit. It's just disguised by a beautiful sound, but has nothing. I'm sorry. This is actually my second official tribute video to Norman Bolter. I did one 4 years ago when I was speaking about timbre, the kind of musical color, the rhythm, pitch, and timbre. It's a nice mantra. Rhythm, pitch, and timbre. You could also call the metrical field. Or the vertical field. Pitch. Or timbre, the depth. Is it or is it is it the harmony? Rhythm, pitch, and timbre. So with Norman, he gave me a template. He was simply just perceiving things and allowing the understanding of that perception to come to him naturally, and then he just attempted to explain it without ever kind of putting himself on a high horse. For him it was rhythm, pitch, and timbre. For Celibidache it's the metrical field and the vertical field and the intervals and the harmony. In the end it's just words attempting to describe something that is alive to that individual. And so for Norman, he was a template for someone that, was a brass player. And not only he was playing in a live way, of course he's not the only trombone player to be playing in a live way, or brass player. That would be foolish to say such a thing. But he had the kind of intellectual prowess and also the emotional understanding to reach out, to explain what he was perceiving and understanding. So it was a gift. It was a musical offering. So he is, in my opinion, the most important brass teacher in the world, in my opinion, and for me. With huge respect to Arnold Jacobs and his kind of heritage, lineage, and others. And also the individuals that have really kind of reached a high level. Joe Alessi, Jürgen Verheijen. And also natural phenomena like Sergio Carlino, the tuba player. He's just, my God, he just lives in the vibrational dimension. He doesn't need to say a word. He just plays and yeah, yes. And the thing is, this kind of dawning on me more and more as the years pass, and it has now been, almost 10 years since I started to actively watch his videos. And still I'm learning something. I revisit a video I've watched 20 times and I pick something new because I'm ready to hear it now. And Norman has a gift that he speaks and he picks up the trombone and nothing happens. He's not assuming a role or anything. He is just completely honest. We know so many that say all the right words and then they pick up the instrument and they assume a role and they feel separate. No. That is an illusion. It is about unifying the whole. So Norman, I'm eternally grateful. It would be nice to meet you one day. Thank you for your kind words and our exchanges. So Norman, I honor you for who you are. Because it has given me the template to honor who I am. And I cannot think of a higher praise. So, I will share with you my mantra. Which I usually recite after I've been speaking for 90 minutes on intervals or something like that. There is nothing to say, just play. There is nothing to say, just play.